Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to D&D Mushoku Tensei, a jobless reincarnation. To episode 3 of season 2. So, what happened in the last episode? In the last episode, Rudy is sad. Rudy, it's not going well for good old Grey Rat. Mimir's dead and Rudy is sad. That's really the big points. Pretty much we got a nice cut forward to like a few months time skip to like, okay, how's Rudy dealing? We've had some time to actually think about the era stuff. How's the boy doing? Boy was exercising, helping out in the community somewhat, making some good moves, which I appreciated from him. And I thought were good positive moves, good Rudy, good, honestly good Rudy episode. And then big event. There was we got a little bit of a little mini mission with Soul, and so we got to see Rudy with counter arrow again. And then bad news, Barry, Blizzard strikes, and homeboy Mimir is a corpse. Homeboy Mimir is dead, and Sarah is too. Just kidding, she's not. And Rudy saves her life. Bada boom, bada bang. Heal up a few injuries. Call it a good day. She goes on home. Rudy says, I'm going to get a nice deep sleep, and he goes snoozer mode. So that was pretty much the surface level recap. To actually, discuss it, Rudy, well, we also, one of the really big points there, let me get on my notes while I'm thinking about it, is there was a moment there where Saul, Soul, that guy, which was the annoying, basically young Paul lookalike dude, where he just walks up to Rudy piss-faced drunk, literally spits the words that hurts Rudy the most and then leaves. And I'm not gonna say the guy was right for what he did, but you gotta respect it a little bit because he perfectly just ice picks Rudy in the soul with that one, right? Saying oh, look at your face, oh, you think you're so much better, oh, you're running away from your past, blah blah blah. It's holy crap, Soul, I don't know, he's got the most insane insight score I've ever seen in my entire life. But yeah, so it kind of reintroduces brings to the surface and a pretty interesting thing with Rudy, where the guy always has a face up, he always has a mask up, and it's to the point where he's just all even when he was growing up, he always had the oh, I'm the perfect son, ding ding ding, and he's smiling and just kind of has that super strong surface level thing. And so for someone to straight up call him out on that, that, you could see the smile waver down and then into a really tense held kind of thing. So what is the going, that's, kind of crazy to see. It makes me sad actually that Rudy has nobody that he feels comfortable being real with, definitely not with him. Because I'm thinking, and it makes sense given that coming out of the Eris situation, the man's mentally fractured. The man's not doing well. And I could see that as he connected in a lot. He was really connected to Eris. He really really loved Eris and cared about Eris. Had a moment of very intense vulnerability with her. From his perspective, and then was completely stabbed in the heart from it. Right, betrayed. So even more so than even if his he's always had that mask up his entire life in this new life, coming out of the being betrayed after the whole Eris thing, that'll make that even spike even harder, I'm sure. So who does he talk to? What does he do when he's sad? He just goes to his room and looks at the relic, or goes and helps a few people to self-affirm, but doesn't actually talk with anyone ever. Yeah. So that's not good. You can't just be you need to it's important to have people you can talk to, right? I'm thinking if Roxy walks into the picture, that would be so clutch. Reconnection with Sylphie one day, that could be really clutch as well. Or Paul, we need to, Rudy, listen up, Rudester. We need to get out of this town, okay? You've sown your seeds here. You've gotten some fame. Homie Quagmire, literally the worst nickname I've ever heard for anyone, but you got it. It's something. Just Quagmire, man. But you've done your thing here. Dude, go check in with Paul. It's been a little bit. You can use the emotional support, I know Paul can be kind of a menace, but you left on pretty good terms. Maybe you can just talk to Paul a little bit, get some familial, or Lilia and Aisha are there. Go talk to Lilia and Aisha a little bit. It's just, even then, whenever he's with those people, it's not he's super real and upfront with them either. It was pulling teeth with Ruijerd for him to stop being lone wolf, So I mean, that's just a Rudy issue. I mean, the poor guy. It's like I get it. Like the independence can be kind of a drug, you know. Where it's like, no man's an island except I'm an island, you know. Though it's not even, yeah. I think it's the guy's just not comfortable with that, right? Like he's so used to being alone that it's like, how could like he doesn't want to open up to people kind of deal. But yeah, so that's not good. That's not good. That's kind of the undercurrent of the episode, right? Let's jump into the comments. Boom. Gonna make this a little quick pass. One of the thing I'll start with, I guess, is like one of the big questions I posed in the last comment section thing, Shangarlangam, was use of sexual device. How is the show using the sexual stuff? Do we like that or not? So I'll kind of like, let's try to start with that. So like specifically like the Roxy cranking scene. So, and that's Roxy in the hallway when Zenith's getting impaled, you know. That there's perspective here. I think somebody else shared it. I feel like I saw that somewhere else. But just the idea that like, I'll just read this. I personally think of Roxy quote-unquote cranking it scene as a way to show us that this non-human character shares many things in common with humans and animals, sexual thoughts, needs, and instincts. I could see that, except like, I feel like that is so a given. And maybe I'm crazy for that. But like Roxy looks like a human, acts like a human. I would assume that she would also have sexual drives like a human. Like, I don't know if how much that needed to be, like, shown, you know? And it's like, we later see her family, and it's like, wow, she has two parents. I wonder what they did to, like, make Roxy pop out. Like, I don't know if that's, like, something that, like, if that purpose needed to be shown, you know? Like, that, like, I guess that could be the reason, but I feel like that's so, like, I feel like, and maybe I'm crazy for this, but I would assume that she would be having like sexual drives, and that like it would be more unlikely that she didn't, you know, or like that her as a, you know, freaking Meagard or whatever her tribe's name, that they didn't or whatever. Like that would be the thing that's like, oh, that's kind of crazy world building. That's something that should be shown, you know. But yeah, because like I don't know, I would assume that to be the case. So, sure. This is Everest Rudy stuff that in the POV, their comment says that pre-intercourse she did not have the plan to leave Rudy. I read it again, and that could be the case. Let me actually just pull that up. I'll like put it in such a way that you'll be able to read it here. I was just reading it here of like. Yes, but it was already going that direction. Like the seeds were sown. Like let me see if I can find it. Okay, yeah, right here it is. Finally. And yet partway through he grew weak and feeble as if he might break. That was when I realized once again that Rudy was smaller than I was. He was quite robust, blah blah blah. But this part of like that's when I realized once again that Rudy was smaller than I was. That I feel like it's kind of thing where it's like. But the once again is kind of what I'm looking at, where this is just like her experience like with the sex reminded her of something that she had noticed previously and kind of brought that back to the surface. So it's, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell exactly when the idea came to her. I guess you could say like it was, I don't know, they didn't necessarily, like when she was sleeping after the act, like when she was going to sleep and waking up and like thinking about it. I guess that's when it could have happened, but at this point, I don't think like it's kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back type thing, I would say, where I would guess, where even if this was the thing, like even if the sex was the thing that kind of like made her think like, okay, like I really need to separate, it was already, the writing was on the wall, you know, based off of like all the other stuff that she talks about with him and the inferiority and her putting him on a pedestal, all that type of stuff. So yeah, like I guess you could say this is when the breakthrough happened, you know, but yeah, like I think the breakthrough was imminent, but I don't know, who's to say. So that's a good point though. That I didn't specifically catch that. I was like exactly, or that's, well, I don't know. It's hard to tell because she's saying it in a past context. So like, who's to say exactly when it all cranked out? But cranked out, wow, it's leaking into my skull. But anyway, I hear you, and that's basically good, Pog. Bing, 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 bing. Okay, the other sex stuff. Let me just get demonetized real quick. bogged down in the morality. I thought this. I appreciate the clarification here, and whenever like your boy starts yapping about stuff based off of comment, like it's hard to like. I try to distinguish that like a lot of the times like it's not necessarily that I think that's what you're thinking. That's just kind of where it spins out. But no, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. So like I'm not trying to like personally get onto people, you know. But like just pointing out that the strength of isekai stories is that you can like you're in a different world, which makes those things easier to accept, and that's like that's a good thing, right? That we're able to be in a different world, different settings, so that we can accept that more easily. It's just there's some pills that it's weird for them to try to get me to swallow. Or well, I don't know about weird for them. Some pills I don't like swallowing. They got a weird taste. And so when the show's plugging my nose and like, you know, giving me a glass of water, it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But no, yeah, okay, I hear you. I think that is a good point about isekais as a whole. Hypersexuality, the show is going to be really funny. Oh boy. I mean, there's going to continue to be sexy sex stuff in the show. I don't know. I'm not going to comment on that. This thing of like, I thought this was an interesting perspective to try to take it. Where this is kind of taking it as like a day-to-day thing, where the point, like the point is almost that there is no point, in that like Mushoku does that a lot and embodies real people doing real things with no mandatory connection to the overarching part or anything. That's why it's very balanced. Sometimes Roxy will just, quote, beat her meat, and you will see it and think, oh, right, people beat their meat in the end. There's no need for a conclusion, per se. I mean, I would, like with a story, I feel like it's just wasting time. If it's not leading anywhere, then why is it there? Is kind of the thing. Like, I'm aware that people brush their teeth. Right, like, it's like if I had a scene, I, like, make a movie, and there's a, like, I see, it's like if I make a movie, and just randomly in the middle of the movie, we have a 2-minute scene of someone just brushing their teeth, no dialogue. It'd be kind of weird, where it's like, what did that 2 minutes, what was that useful for? Like, you know, so, like, if the why is to, like, I think there is something to be said about this right here, of, like, he wants to demystify some taboos and treat them as normal human behaviors. Like, I could see that kind of almost being the end, where the conclusion that we can, like, even if it doesn't connect to a plot or anything, it's more so just demystifying and making, like, pointing out, like, yeah, people do this. I'm putting it in my story. Here it is. In which case, like, cool. I feel like it's almost begging for more, you know? Like, if we're gonna open the door, then I'd like us to step through it. But, I don't know. Throw in your cranking scenes, and it's just like, but like, it feels like you're like wasting time. Like, I feel like showtime is valuable. There's only so much that we can freaking put it in the anime, right? Things gotta get cut. There's so much that can be animated. Somebody painstakingly freaking graphed and animated this scene, you know? And so for this person's graphing and animating scene to like not really lead anywhere, it's just like that poor guy, you know? Like, and for all the people that watched it, it's like, I'm watching this, it's like, okay, Roxy's cranking it. That like, why was that there, you know? Yeah, I feel like for any show, just to have something that doesn't lead anywhere would be, it wouldn't be bad in isolation, because there is a use case. I think there is a utility that can be really interesting there, where it's like subverting. It'd be like a subversion, where like Chekhov's gun, right? If it shows up, it's gotta be used. You could like subvert that idea by like, okay, here's something that could lead somewhere, but it's not gonna lead anywhere, and it actually doesn't matter, and it's more like a distraction, you know? Where it's like you might expect it to go somewhere, and then it doesn't go anywhere, and then it makes you think like, oh, it's like a red herring, you know? Or is that the right term? Where it's like, oh, like just because something's in the show doesn't mean it'll lead anywhere, which makes things like a lot crazier, where like, so will this lead somewhere or not, then becomes like an interesting question. So I could see a point there, right, where we wouldn't want every element of the story to come back, because then it becomes predictable, you know? Like, oh, she beat her meat. That means we know that this has to become relevant. Somebody's going to find her. Something's going to happen. But if it just somewhere doesn't, if it sometimes just fizzles out, then that makes it like more dynamic, less predictable. So that could be good, and I like that. It just happens so much, specifically with sexual elements, that like, I feel like it's overworn that use. But yeah, I guess I can see the point. I just don't know if that's a point that like I find that valuable in a story, but I guess I can hear it. And at that point, then it becomes like a personal thing of like, what do I value in the stories that I ingest or whatnot? Yeah, especially because there's like so much of a some like really valuable stuff on change, on behaviors and anxieties and pains and sufferings and traumas and blah 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 blah, that it almost feels like, I feel like it would be so natural to just continue that into the sexual realm. But if it ain't trying to, it ain't trying to. It is what it is. Saul all actually based. He read Rudy almost perfectly. Only mistake he made was the assumption about not taking money being self-righteous and not for some actual goal. Oh yeah, like him reading Rudy so perfectly, it was almost like it was actually, I don't know. It was almost like too perfect. Or it's like, this guy either has to know something or it's just cracked. Like, he's truly cracked at reading somebody. Because he looked at Rudy doing the Quagmire special, like, smile grin, and then perfectly got him, bro. That's like a skill. Like, get this guy in courtrooms, okay? Make this guy my lawyer. Like, he will cross-examine a witness and just crack him like that fast. Holy crap. Can Soul get, like, a law degree? Better Call Saul! Better Call Saul! It's Better Call Saul, bro. Holy. Actually real, though. Tree and fight got cut. That's actually sad. That was kind of random. Like, the way that it was shown in the anime, it was kind of like, oh shoot, this tree's throwing ice blocks at us. Alright, we got it. We got her out. We're good. Like, it almost felt like I was almost asking, like, why was Sarah kept alive? Like, it almost, I feel like that could have been explored a lot more. So to hear that it was cut, that makes me happy, because it felt a little, like, random and just kind of there, where, like, that could have been a really cool thing. But so, like, I actually like that there was stuff cut, because that means there was more there, which I like. Roxy's panties have actually become a holy relic to Rudy as he's diving into spirituality and working out as a way to cope mentally. That idea that he's, like, kind of making it more spiritual, I mean, yeah, I'd agree with that. I think that's kind of a sick idea. It's really becoming the holy relic, so that's kind of funny. Definitely agree he's OP. This here is sexual stuff, so let's get back to that. Sexual content here provides a firm base for world building and what is considered acceptable. Also shows us that characters who aren't human are interested in that. If you're referring to Roxy, I would say the same thing I said previously of, like, I think most people would assume that to be the case, so it doesn't need to be shown. But okay. But yeah. On top of this, it makes the show feel much more mature to me, and without it, I would find it hard to take the show that tackles darker and more serious themes if they avoided this part of it seriously. Like, that is where, like, it's almost, like, I don't know how I feel about that, where I feel like it, instead of making it feel more mature to me, it makes it feel less mature to me. Where it's like, if to attempt to seem mature, you just throw a bunch of sex that doesn't actually amount to anything in the show, then to me it's like you were just trying to trick me into thinking it's mature, which in which case I would want it to, like, amount to stuff, or even beyond amount to stuff, actually, like, mean things, right? Which sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, in which case I get mad at the parts where I feel like it doesn't, right? Not the parts where it actually kind of amounts to something, aka Paul and Lilia, right? And because, like, imagine, and I think I've said this before, just imagine if we took all the sex out of Mushoku Tensei. I think its ability to explore, like, Rudy depression, Rudy all these things, would be just as strong, or at least nearly as strong. Maybe not quite 100%, but at least like 90% or something as strong without any of the sexual elements. Especially because you would have so much more freed up time to actually do things, right? So, because, like, I mean, they're somewhat connected, but they're also very separate. Like, a lot of the, I mean, it's all, every brain is freaking a bunch of freaking wires put together. You're made out of wires. Take the wires out of your skin. But, no, like, yeah, so, like, they're interconnected, yes, but a lot of how Rudy has explored, like, self-worth, shame, talking it out with Paul, etc., like, hasn't actually gone into questions of, like, sex or what that means to him or blah, blah, blah. So for all the sexual things, I feel like if they were just gone, it wouldn't, like, negatively impact those. But yeah. It also does wonders to reinforce realism, which in turn makes all the other negative or gritty scenes have way more weight due to the story being more grounded and mature instead of being a fairy tale for children where only good things happen. That, I like that, like, that part of, like, where only good things happen. Like, I think it's good to get rid of that, or, like, to make it so, like, bad things happen to establish stakes. That's totally, like, I'm here for that. I don't know if that's, like, realism, I can kind of see where you're going with the sex stuff, but I don't know if the sex stuff equates to, like, it's, like, ooh, like, here's more stakes. Here, like, bad things can happen in this world, For me, it doesn't really add, I don't know if I've had any additional weight. Like, if anything, it pulls me out, I think, a little bit. rather than it draws me more in. Because, like, to establish stakes, you know, two people banging doesn't really establish stakes for me. It's like, unless that actually has stakes of like, oh, this is Paul and he shouldn't be banging Lilia. So for him to bang Lilia, it's like, okay, that has stakes in that there's an emotional consequence for all this, like, for all the members of the family. Or like, oh, politically, if frickin' whatever his name got Eris as a concubine, like, oh, like, sex is included in that, and that would also be, like, really important as a political move, which would have, like, political stakes or whatnot, right? But just, like, oh, Rudy's perving on children, and then Gies kind of smacks him on the back of the head and nothing comes out of it. It's like, okay, well, that didn't establish any stakes. If anything, it shows that Rudy can get away with this behavior, which, I mean, and you kind of say this of, like, what is considered acceptable. Like, that's establishing that that's acceptable in this world to the degree that, like, Rudy does it, which is kind of a lead on into, like, the next thing here of, like, used as a way to show that Rudy is, even though Rudy's a degenerate, people around him aren't that much better. As other characters engaging in sexual things is often shown as a way that Rudy isn't the only one being a weirdo, and that is the standard for the world, and you are not supposed to judge Rudy too harshly. And so, because it's perfectly acceptable in this world, if Rudy wants to change, he has to do it because he wants to improve, and not because of the people around him or external pressures, which IMO comment is a good message to send. IMO from the comment, right? That's what I meant. It's an interesting thing to mix together here for me, where it's like, it's totally fine in this world, therefore, if Rudy wants to change, he has to do it because he wants to improve, there's no societal pressure. Like, there's, like, a message sent of, like, I feel like there's a message you can pull somewhere that's like, oh, people are, like, a lot of people are only moral because of society. Right, which is true, in a lot of ways, but more so that, like, oh, if you had someone that was a moral agent in society and then you take away the society part and replace it with, like, a playground, then they will lose they don't have to be a moral agent anymore to that same degree, and that's just something that's, like, really crazy for me to consider. Like, I see that as, like, worrying, but I'll get to that more in a minute. Like, yeah, like, I agree that the show's doing this, where everyone's kind of a degenerate, which, like, normalizes degeneracy, which makes Rudy look better, which is kind of crazy when, as I've said before, it's like Rudy's kind of and I'm kind of giving up on this idea the more I go along, the longer that this has gone on, but the whole, like, Rudy is a self-insert for, like, an otaku, a NEET, or a weeb, or whatever. So it's like, if we say that Rudy's like a self-insert of these types of people, and then the world is saying, well, you're really not that bad in this circumstance, then I feel like there's a message being sent to the people that are actually in the real world being degenerates and saying, like, you know what, it's only society that thinks you're bad. Like, you're really not that bad. It all depends on your society framework, which is, like, yes, that's, like, true, but, like, I don't like giving people that, like, ability to rationalize for their degenerate behavior, I guess, but I'm kind of, you know what, the umbilical connection between Rudy and the freaking audience, okay, where what's it called where you cut it? Yeah, it's gone. Okay, no more umbilical. I'm cutting the cord. Okay, the birth has been completed. Rudy has been completely birthed. It's done. It's finished. Because at this point it's just like that's the show is doing its thing. But yeah, did I have anything else to say? Yeah, well, and it's like, if he wants to change, he has to do it because he wants to improve. Like, yes, but then, like, he doesn't care to, like, I don't know if he cares to improve on this at all, right? I low-key even feel like that Rudy not being pervy in the last episode is kind of a red flag, where, like, that's weird. Rudy's not usually like that. The guy's probably really going through it if he's not perving, you know? So I don't even know, like, if, like, he doesn't really want to change in that way. And I guess we just accept that like, he doesn't see it as a problem. His world he's in doesn't see it as a problem. So who cares? The thing, though, is that, like, in, like, Rudy, you know, watching Eris and the children, if Eris knew about it, she'd be pissed. You know, like, these aren't good things. Like, even, and I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, basically heard. Okay. No purpose to make it worth it. Eris messed up both Rudy and you. It's real. The bags under my eyes have grown the longer this show has gone on. And then, yeah, the mods, we would check that. Shout out new creators, of course, always. This is the comment from last episode. But yeah, heard. The season 1 anime perspective, good to know. I won't watch until I have someone proof check it, of course, or after like the core maybe, but we'll see. So yeah, now we're going into kind of combined with this, the how should Rudy behave in this world, of like, yeah. So do I want to just top to bottom of this? What do I have to say? Assimilating a new environment is the healthiest way for immigration to work, IRL. Chetra. In fact, sticking to our morals would make far more trouble for him than it would actually result in anything positive. Like, okay, like, the thing is, sticking to your morals, there's a very clear difference between your morals as you use for your own behavior and your morals as you use for extending onto others. Very clear difference, right? If Rudy were to come in this world and start like attacking all the degenerate nobles because, oh, you're being pervian, that's wrong. Like if he were to do that, then yeah, that would get him into a lot of trouble, of course. But that's not even what I'm advocating for, right? What I've been trying to say more so is Rudy and his own behavior. Whereas like if Rudy didn't do anything sexually devious or degenerate, then that wouldn't make any trouble for him. If anything, he would get in less trouble overall because he wouldn't be like horny for the spiritual dog with the freaking the tribal the feral people or the freaking animal people, right? Like he would be in less trouble overall if he didn't have the degenerate leans, So I would disagree with that statement. Where like if he just personally applied it to himself, he would that wouldn't make the world like attack him or anything. Unless you're to say that like, oh, him being sexual, him doing the sexual deviancy is like him like a coping mechanism, which I think makes a lot of sense in as so much as it goes after trauma, but I also think it's a negative coping mechanism that has problems, blah blah blah. And like especially in the beginning, really good handful of years, the man had a pretty solid, real life upbringing overall. Still has all the trauma from his past life to work out for sure, but yeah. So you could spin it in like a coping mechanism way where it's like, oh, he would be in trouble if he didn't use this as a crutch emotionally. But that would be a little I don't know how I feel about that, but yeah. This of like ultimately no one cares what he thinks. Even Orsted isn't going around enforcing his thoughts and opinions on the world, and he's arguably the most powerful character. Well, okay, I don't know what Orsted's doing. I don't think we can bring Orsted into this. He literally, his thoughts and opinions on Man God is why he speared Rudy through the chest. He is enforcing his thoughts and opinions on the world. And guess what? Most people enforce their thoughts and opinions on the world all the time. I'm enforcing my thoughts and opinions by projecting them out onto you, and you're enforcing your thoughts and opinions by replying. Like, that's, I wouldn't say that that's like, yeah. I would even argue that clinging to our world's morals would make Rudy take his current world less seriously and more like a game than actual reality. That's like an interesting thought. I mean, his gamifying of the world, I feel like that's a separate issue than him changing moral frameworks to this world. I mean, I could kind of see how they could be a little connected in so much that immersing in the new world's morals would immerse him into this world and make him not take it as a game. But I don't know. I feel like those have a weak link, if anything. Like I can kind of see the link, but I think it's not a super strong link. I feel like you are thinking of Rudy as a hero, and at this point of the story, he is anything but. Agreed. I don't think he's not a heroic character. He's just a guy trying to live for himself, which I go off, I guess. Right now, I'd say he's lawful neutral in terms of alignment. I don't like trying to use D&D alignment in actual like moral talks because D&D alignment, it doesn't work for me usually. But yeah, him being incredibly selfish and mostly focusing on himself and what he cares about. Parenthesis, very little empathy for others. And parenthesis, I mean, he literally says when he says to go look for Sarah that he's doing it for himself and he doesn't care if she's alive or dead. I do think to some degree, I wouldn't say take what he's saying in this moment as his true moral feelings. Like, I do think he would care if she's alive or dead. It's just he's so in the dump. Like, he would care on some level. Like, I think he's saying that because he's, she reminds him of Eris, and he's still all, like, crumped up about Eris, right? So, yeah, like, if he found her corpse, I think that would deeply upset him, and I think that would just go into his, like, bottled up pain jar, right? because that's just what he's saying out loud in this state, which I think is an emotional state that like we can't really trust his words like 100%. We kind of have to read between the lines a little bit. He just wants to do something that makes him feel better. Like, I would agree with that. Like, he definitely is doing that. And, like, that's his... He verbalizes, like, I'm going to help her because it's going to make me feel better. But I think he also... Like, he's going to feel better helping her, or, like, because he likes to help people because he has, like, a good moral... Like he wants to do that because he actually cares about her, right? And he, like, wants to, like, not abandon someone, right? And so it's kind of a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag of a lot of things. Like, even think about, like, right before he got hit by the truck, where he like was trying to push the girl out of the way. Like, I think that's always built into like his decision making, is that desire to like help people, especially if they're women. We've mostly seen it with women, but we've also seen it with like Ruby Jerd. So it's not even 100% there. It's not even 100% like a gender thing. But yeah, why would a character like this care about morals in the slightest or uphold an entirely different world's moral viewpoints? Care about morals in the slightest. I mean, how are we using morals here? Like, morals is just, like, what's good or bad. Does he care about what's good or bad? Yeah, I mean, I suppose he doesn't really. Why would a character like this... Yeah, I mean, the like this part. I mean, he was written to be this way, right? I guess, because, like, a lot of the thing for me isn't, like... A lot of this discussion isn't based in, like, the functioning of the characters in the world. It's more so, like, the metatextual... Why were they written like this? Why was the world written like this? Like, why is this what we're doing? You know, it's less of like, oh, I don't understand why Rudy doesn't care. It's more of like, why are we telling a story where Rudy doesn't care? You know, that's not even quite, that's kind of reductive of what I've been trying to say, but whatever. Just because you know something is bad or wrong doesn't mean you won't do it or engage in it. That's true. Morality or what is the right thing to do in actions only matters if you yourself want it to matter. And since he isn't a hero, it simply doesn't matter to him. Most people love to pretend that they would care or do something differently. In reality, no one cares or does things if they inconvenience them slightly. I mean, this is pretty. I mean, this is a little doomer. Is this? I don't know if I agree with this. I mean, I don't know. I try to be a pretty strong moral agent in my day-to-day, right? Like, that's something that is in my mental of, like, let me try to put some good out in the world. You know, I don't know how true that is for most people. I would hope, and maybe I'm being idealistic, that at least a substantial amount of people, not necessarily the majority, do care about that. I think that also substantial amount of people suck and don't care about that and actively try to make the world worse in trying to make themselves better. But, I don't know, like, most is a statement I don't think I would agree with, but I don't know, that's just we're going into kind of crazy territory there. Because, I don't know, it's just like, what is the end, like, what is morality? Like, what's the point, you know? How much do people care about morality? How much do most people care about morality is, like, a really interesting question that I'm not, like, equipped to answer. Because, I mean, holy crap, right? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we could go a lot of places with that. Okay. This here, if you can freaking see, let me put this in 1080p so you can actually read that bit. Hopefully you can zoom in maybe and read it. I know it's like a picture and a picture and a picture. It's based on a comment from last episode about like, moral, like comparing moral frameworks, comparing moral worlds, blah, blah, blah. So the comment says, I don't think you even understand what they said enough to say you agree. They're saying you can't say a moral system is better or worse than your own or any other, because who's to say your morals are better? Sure, under our moral system, things like slavery and denying women's rights is immoral, but who's to say that is quote-unquote correct? There's no such thing as objectively correct moral system. Mind you, I'm not saying, and then blah, 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 Rudy. No, I understand that. I think I perfectly understand the message. Maybe I didn't articulate myself well, in which case, like, I don't know, I'd have to go rewatch what I said. To bounce back on this, I am confident in saying certain moral systems are better or worse than others. Because I'm a person that has to choose a moral system to follow. And so I'm going to pick better or worse morals. I'm going to compare and contrast different moral systems to try to find the one that I think is best, right? The thing of no objectively correct moral system isn't like a silver bullet that like denies the ability to at all rank moral systems. I mean, there's a ton of different ways. Like it's even a question of if there's an objectively correct moral system. Because I'm in the camp personally that there's no way we can know, but that there could be an objectively correct moral system. Let's just go into morals, okay? F Mushoku Tensei. But yeah, I'm kind of in the camp that if there is an objective morality, then I don't have any way to know. An example of that would be like, oh, guess what? There's a god they decide that this is the objective moral system, they're all powerful, boom, that's what it is. Or like, oh, here is some like, I don't know, metaphysical, meta-spiritual, whatever, force of good and force of evil in the world, and that like, I don't know, karma exists, like a karmic balance, blah, blah, blah. Like, there are ways that there could be an objective, correct moral system. I just don't think as subjective, fleshy meat puppets that I or like other people have a way to actually like latch onto that, right? Which leaves us to make a subjective view of like, okay, what is the most correct or the best under certain criteria moral systems, right? In which case, you would just look at different criteria of like, okay, what, I don't know, let's say I equate beauty and good, right? Morally good. What is morally good is beautiful, because beauty, blah, 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 I like how it makes me feel, so I'm going to make it my moral system, blah, blah, blah. Like, then you have a way to, okay, my moral system has to do with beauty, blah, blah, blah. But like, okay, so you're trying to compare different moral systems. You can use different criteria. Like, okay, I don't know, what would be a good example? If I think happiness is important, I like it personally, boom, I want to maximize happiness, then let me like compare and contrast different moral systems of like, okay, happiness is the good. Let's try to find the best moral system that blah, blah, blah is happiness. Like you can't, I don't think, like, I'm not a person that's like confident in my own opinions with this thing, right? I'm not a person that's like, oh, my moral system's correct, right? Or, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. But that's why it's such an active pursuit to try to parse through moral systems to decide how do I navigate this world that I'm in, you know? And so I feel like this statement of like, who's to say your morals are better is almost like just like giving up on the objective entirely and saying like, oh, there's no way to know whether moral A or moral B is moral system A, moral system B is better or worse. We don't even, like, who's even to know? It's like, it kind of is like giving up. We're like, no, we can try to figure this stuff out, right? I don't think we'll ever hit like an objective correct thing, but like, I don't know, you could even make it as simple as like, I in some way inside of me have an angel or devil on my shoulder that makes me feel like super ego, bro, or whatever. It makes me feel good when good things happen. It makes me feel bad when bad things happen, or when I do bad things, or when I do good things. Let me try to find the moral system that best represents that, you know, or something, right? Yeah, like I'm fine with saying that a moral system is better or worse than another moral system, right? At the end of the day, it's my own subjective opinion on the matter, because I'm not an objective agent, but no one's an objective agent. So like, I don't see how that's like kind of relevant to being able to judge moral systems. So I mean, that's kind of my fuller take on the matter. Maybe I think I gave it much more of a drive by. I don't even know if I went into anything. So maybe that's where the confusion, where like I get the point though. Mind you, I'm not saying that Rudy should abandon his original world's morals and take on the new world's morals. He should follow his own set of morals, which should largely align with his original world's morals. Right. And I mean, I would hope so, because the impression I'm getting out of Rudy is that like his original world's morals he didn't internalize at all. That like, well, that's not even true, because he has internalized some of his original world's morals, right? Like, he hasn't completely abandoned his original world's morals and is like, you know, blah, 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 because he doesn't want to kill people. He, like, tries hard to not kill people, whereas most people just ice other people whenever they want, right? Like, Eris goes and kills a bunch of goblins because she feels bad, right? Like, that's what this new environment is, and so it's not like Rudy, like, for Rudy to be caring about life in a more general, like, moral way and be like, okay, I would prefer to not kill people or kill things. Like, I would say that that's an example of his original world's morals shining through, you know, and like we see that, and they somewhat even explore that, which I think is pretty sick, right? Where like, I don't know, like the guy, Gillian cuts the guy's head off, and Rudy's really freaking out with the violence in front of him and the blood, you know, going up to his shoes, and he's like, oh dang, you know, and that's causing him like some trauma and such. Whereas like he's not used to it, so now we're clashing his previous world morals with the current world morals. And he's kind of having to figure out as the story goes on, like, am I comfortable with like killing people? Like, how much do I attack people? To which, I mean, he fires a shot at Orsted that I think someone said was like with the intent to kill, and he's killing all these boars and such. But like overall, he's been a lot, you know, very pacifistic when he could have been, you know, pretty violent in some of these things. Well, I don't know about that. Maybe I'll run back that statement a little bit. But just like the one guy, what was his name? Frickin' Gallius Cleaver or whatever. Well, at the time I was thinking that he was fine with killing Gallius. Well, remember, like I was even talking about that. I was like, oh dang, like I kind of feel like Rudy was ready to kill Gallius there, but like when push really came to shove, he was forced to confront that, which I thought was a really cool thing. But then Gallius ended up just being fine. So yeah, like. Yeah, I mean, if we were to... So I think in some way Rudy does have his previous world's morals, like, with him, you know? He's shown that before. It's just when it comes to sex, and when it comes to, like, sexual degeneracy, of which, in his previous life, I think he would even admit he was a degenerate, that's not anything that he's really made any... he doesn't care, right? Like, he's like, oh, this world's fine with it. Even if in the past world it was seen as degenerate, in this world they're fine with it, so I guess I'm fine with it, you know? Where it's like... It's like he's escaping any consequence. Like he's like not having to deal with, you know, which is fine. Like if he doesn't want to, then no, there's no one there to hold him to it because this is the world he was dropped into. But it's like, well, he was dropped into this world. Why? Like, yeah, it's just a weird mix. It's a weird mix to me. As I've talked about many a times. And then yeah, Rudy healed the girl as disrespectfully as could be reasonably expected. That's not even with a caveat of as much as can be expected for someone like him. Even a normal guy would struggle to completely disconnect from the fact that there's a basically naked woman right in front of him. Oh yeah, like he did so well that it makes me be like, dang, how mentally well is this child? You know, he's really like that. That to me is a red flag of him being, you know, mentally stable or not. Comment about the sexual things here. This is another take on it, which is that. I laugh at those who seek to give the sexual elements a deep excuse. The author is a person, and apart from putting into a story a great development and construction of the world, as well as he integrates something like his fantasies, puts all of that in just because he likes it. There's no justification. Even so, I don't criticize him. First of all, I have no problem with the lolly thing. Secondly, I don't think it harms the story. There's something more artistic, lollies or waifus or fan service, all that. So about your complaint of why, I would say that you just have to understand Japanese anime culture, etc., etc., etc. Basically just saying that this is similar to how the Western culture has normalized fictitious violence, that this is like fictitious eroticism, fan service, etc. In which case, I'm very like I'm aware of fan service, right? And that makes a lot of sense to me. And to some degree, I can even when there is like an element of like a lot of fan service in my face, that usually doesn't like bother me that much. Like sometimes it's just kind of like annoying of like, okay, I like this show, and now there's a bunch of boobs in my face. It's like I'm not here for the boobs. Like, can we skip to the part where we're back to the show? Like that'll sometimes happen, but. With Mushoku Tensei, like it's a mixed bag where sometimes we're going into some like self-worth, you know, shame, blah blah blah, but then in the midst of all this we just have all these like sexual gags, but then sometimes they're not gags and they're actually really important, and sometimes they're just kind of there to, I don't know, flesh out the world or just try to ground the world with like Roxy cranking it, or sometimes they have plot development with like Paul and Lilia, and sometimes they have like an extreme lens under it, which I don't think what at all was attempting to be fan servicey with like Eris and Rudy. But yeah, so like I think for a lot of those you can kind of say like I don't see a reason other than the author wanted it and thought it was fun and threw it in. You can try to say like that to me. It's a pretty viable reason for a lot of the sexual elements. Not all of them. But like most of the gag type ones, I think that is a very reasonable way to push it. So yeah, I mean this is something that like we kind of like in here of like this here of like good on, this is for a response to that comment from in the replies. Good on you for not being one of the people trying to straight face just make it to be some incredibly deep thing with mental gymnastics and actually seeing it for what it probably is, at least to some degree, namely the author's own quirks and eccentricities, and such. Yeah, because I mean, bro, I've watched shows that I really like the show and then it randomly gets really fetishy and it's like, can we not? I mean, there's another one of those on the channel. Like, well, let's not pretend. I see you, other shows. It's just... It's like Mushoku Tensei like, tries to use it in a lot of different ways, and so it gets muddy. Muddy is just my favorite word for that. Bro, I was saying that the show was throwing mud before Rudius became known as Quagmire, bro. That's the show. The show is just mud. It's muddy. No, it's not mud. It's muddy. You hear what I mean? Because mud is like a stationary thing. Muddy is part of like the mudifying of something. It's a muddy show, and I feel like it's trying to be muddy, you know? And I don't know how I feel being a little pig rolling around in the mud anymore. Maybe I'm sick of the mud. Maybe I want to go chow on something. I wish I was a pig, for real. Mimir, these nuts? So true. I'm not gonna lie. Can I be real with y'all for a second? I'm gonna pull it up, actually. Bro, when Mimir was dying, or when we found Mihir's scalp, because I was making fun of him, I almost laughed. I'm so sorry. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this guy. Look at this guy right here. We like... You can, dude, I'm smiling and I'm hiding it. I'm trying to hide it. Look at it, look at it, look at it, look at it. Dude. You can literally see the muscle clench as I clench my jaw to try to suppress the laugh. You can see the muscle clench, bro. Right there, the jaw clenches. Because I'm thinking in my head like, no, the guy died. I can't laugh that the guy died. That would be so effed up. And then it was so funny because he starts like bagging it up and you just see his little like green hair sticking out. And so I covered my mouth. And then I wiped it off. Then I completely went back to poker face. That's actually acting, okay? That's my acting experience right there. Where I'm just like, I'm laughing, boom, back to neutral. Oh, that was so funny. You have no idea how much I was dying there. It was because it's just one of those things where it's like, it's so funny and I know I can't laugh. It's like you're in class and your friend says something funny to you and you're just biting your tongue so hard because you know this is not the environment to laugh. That's what it was, bro. It was the reaction equivalent. It's so funny. Sexy sex. Back to sexy sex. And then this is, I feel like we've mostly kind of talked about this, but like, you seem to be conflating a character that's making a wrong choice with a narrative endorsing this. Rudy should have comforted Eris in that moment and he fell back on his perverted tendency, blah, blah, blah. If Rufjin was not framing this as a bad choice, why separate Eris and leave Rudy suicidal, as seen in episode 1? I see this arc as a tragedy. A character acts upon established negative traits and the narrative destroys the thing the character values. The funny thing to me is that's where, like, I originally was kind of taking it. I would want them to push the tragedy part further because it feels muddy enough where I'm unsure. Whereas, like, Eris walks out of it she's smiling and seemingly even more, like, she comes out of it, her parents' death, the sex with Rudy, beaming, feeling good. And then Rudy falls into a pit, but, like, how much does the sex tie into that? And then the comments here, or the replies really got into it. This is the Pax thing. The thing with Rudy is it's not about what Rudy can do, it's about what Rudy feels. The entire, like those two episodes with Pax and Zenoba, it's like I feel like we didn't really get to see, like, that didn't, like, Rudy and his discussion with Pax, it didn't tell us really anything about Rudy. It really didn't tell us much about Pax that we didn't already know. And then to, like, conclude, we get introduced to Zenoba, that kind of happens, and then we're free, you know? Like, I feel like we didn't really get anything out of that other than, like, an introduction to Zenoba and checking a box where we needed Lilia and Aisha saved, right? And so it's like, it's not about Rudy being able to break out or Rudy being like, I'm gonna kill you, Pat, you know? But it's about Rudy, he just seems so nonchalant, right? And he just is like, oh, man, God set me up, bruh. And then instead, but, like, there's no payoff for Rudy's character to be in the situation and to, like, completely fall into this trick. Yeah. So that's kind of the point of, like, okay, so Pax solves all this stuff. I know that's not Rudy can do anything, but, like, Rudy doesn't, it doesn't feel like Rudy cares, right? And if Rudy doesn't care, why should I care? You know what I mean? How do I care if none of the protagonists care about it? It's like, well, I'm not gonna care either, you know? Yeah, that's more so what I mean. Rudy shows detachment in many scenes as a result of how powerful he is compared to the average opponent. Why did this ... I can't even, like, open it anymore. But yeah. And then the crazy thing is, like, this, I think in this description, in these replies, you kind of run into, like, because this is what I was kind of pushing and, like, saying at the beginning of, like, this is what kind of where I thought the show was taking it. But then, like, a couple of people are saying, like, maybe they aren't narrative related, or some people are saying that there's nothing wrong with him sleeping with Eris and such, right? So, like, that's, I think it's almost like this comment section is a microcosm of what these videos have been as a whole, right? Where it's like, this is kind of where we are, but then people are like, wait a second, I actually think it was okay, and then and then a lot of people are saying that, and then a lot of people are saying other things, and it's like, wow, this is a crazy situation. Yeah. All right, now I'm gonna top to bottom this comment section from the top, baby girl, all the way to the bottom. Okay, just so I can hit all the parts of. You can tell I'm really losing it with this show. I'm losing it. I'm feral. Okay. I'm gonna top to bottom this. Hit the comments I didn't hit, if I care. We'll see. Bung 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 bung. Already got attacked by the snow drakes. Tried to use freaking cold-blooded logic. That's actually hilarious, and I love that. Rip that it didn't work because this is a fantasy world, so some of that stuff won't apply. But it is what it is. Roxy cranking it. Quagmire definition just makes me think of. Oh yeah, because this is true. People clarified in the Discord and then as well as right here, where it's his mud trick. That's where he got Quagmire from. Heard. I just think of Family Guy. I just think of Family Guy, and he got that little, yeah. Rudy did, and then part of my is Rudy an active protagonist versus passive protagonist kind of thing? Rudy did do something per Shiro, and he asked Man God to tell him how to find his family. That is that's a very weak action, right? Where it's like, tell me how do I find my family? Man God gives you all the instructions, he follows it. That's it. Like, his only action is asking for help and then carrying out the help, right? Like, that's so nothing. That's so little, And even asking Man God is like, Man God just comes in and tells him things, right? Like, he doesn't even have to, it's not like, it's almost like the thing with Kisharika and the Demon Eye. He just gets things a lot of the time, right? Man God just tells him how to find his family. Kisharika just gives him a demon eye because Man God just tells him to go there, right? So that, to me, it's just like things happen to Rudy a lot, but it's not like he uses the demon eye and I'm like, and he earned this demon eye. No, he literally got this for free, right? Like, it's kind of just a free hack that fell into his lap. So it lacks something that I feel like could be there if he got it a lot more, through his own effort or something, because then it's like every time he uses it, it's like a reminder of he had to struggle to get this boon. But no, he just kind of got it for free, which is fine, whatever. But when it comes to that's more so what I'm trying to say, I guess. Lots of skipped content because they can't fit into anime runtime. Overall, it's not bad. Dude, the anime adaptation, they got the most fire animation I've ever seen, okay? They got the dub, whether they got stuff cut or not. They're popping. Also, a funny thing, I'm gonna have to rewatch it. Was Rudy incanting with that healing spell, or was he doing that incantationless? I low-key don't remember any volume in that scene. So, did Rudy learn how to do basic healing magic without incantations? That would be crazy. That would be a Rudy moment. Or that would be a thing, because he couldn't do that previously. So, that'd be cool. Blah, blah, blah. I appreciate the clarification. Where I'm about to look like a fool or something. I'm just here as a jester, man. A comedy or tragedy, pick my mask. Okay. Icefall Treant is pogging out of its mind. Talk about this. If things take another turn for the worse, it's just going to keep getting worse. Things are just going to keep happening as this guy, that's the world, man. Quagmire might be the most accurate representation of Rudy out of the Family Guy characters. I haven't even seen Family Guy. It's just Quagmire. That's all that Quagmire means to me, man. Was there anything else here? Comment about sexual things, mimir these nuts. Pretty much just mimir these nuts and we go on and go forth. All right. Let me pull up the last episode. Do I have anything I want to talk about here? Look at Rudy go. He's working out, helping. Oh yeah, let me see if he says anything when he's healing her. It's also dude, I get this weird feeling sometimes where it's think about it, this is part of why, because I was talking about the sexual elements somewhat pull me out of the show sometimes, right? An example. Let me give a very clear example. Him, it's I'm looking at this scene where he goes into the water to save Sarah, to get away from the treant, right? And then the next scene is their clothes are off because their clothes were wet, and now they're healing each other. I feel the only reason this is the mentality I have because of a lot of the sexual elements. The only reason that they went into the water wasn't because it was the easiest way to escape or anything. It was so that we could have the scene where they're naked. That's the way that it starts to feel a little bit. Where some of the plot things, it's this only matters in so much that it puts characters into a sexual situation, I just start to I can't help but start reading some of those things that way, where it's that's the purpose of the water. Where was the water? Did we even see it in any other scene? It just kind of appeared, and it's snowy. No ice over the water. It's that warm. Also, why is the treant her clothes are extra torn up? She's extra sensual. Why is she even saved by the treant? She just didn't get eaten yet, but everybody else got murdered. So why is she fine? Is the treant trying to Evil Dead her? Reference. Did you catch the reference? You get 10 pink points if you caught that reference. 10 pink points. Okay. Bro, you can see the shadow of my own hand on my face. What? I just learned how shadows work in real time. But yeah. And I don't like, you know, I just pretty much, those thoughts come of like, oh, the water's just there so they go naked. It goes one ear out the other. Like, it's not something I try to latch onto, but that's more so like, I think the consequence, or like where the show's kind of led me with its stuff, you know? Rudy, oh yeah, let's see if he, incantation list is, yeah, he's not saying anything. No, he's dead silent. He's learned new ability, bro. Incantationless healing. Poor Sylphie. I was literally saying the other day, like, Sylphie's got that on Rudy. Sylphie can do incantationless healing and Rudy can't. He literally just did. We tried it. Rest in peace, Mimir, and your goofy hair. I'm so sorry that your hair was goofy, and I'm sorry that that's how I remember you. Again, Rudy's got the most malicious little grin. Something malicious is brewing, brother. Soul literally just sits down and says exactly. Let me hear what he says. Why are you always so worried about how other folks see you? Look at that, and he does a little grin, like Rudy. We gotta get you. Can we get you someone that's like that can run? Like, bro, we need Rudy and Geese to have an arc. Okay, Geese Geese got people skills. Let's take Geese can show Rudy around the town. Okay, let's learn some additional like abilities, like social interaction abilities. Rudy, we gotta and let's have you have a conversation with like some homies, right? We gotta get you feeling comfortable to be real with people. Get some of your true self out there. Get some of those boundaries lowered, bro. And I know why they're all there. I get it. I want you to be better, bro. I want you to be better for your own sake. Like, you're not happy. Your eyes are... Look at this. This is true Rudy right here. We got a little glimpse of it because this guy was going ham enough on him. And look, and then it really breaks. It really breaks there. Like, the man starts, like, freaking out. Yo, rest of counter arrow. Actually, what is wrong with the rest of counter arrow? Your homie's just getting laid into here? Tell him to, fuck off, bro. This is Rudy is Grey Rat, okay? This is Quagmire. Hey, bro. You want to mess with Quagmire? Huh? You want to mess with Quagmire? Square up. You know what I'm saying? Like, guys. Counter arrow, do something, bro. This is a little on the nose. It's a little on the nose. But Soul, I guess, is just built. Hey, Soul got that insight score. Who am I to say? Yo, counter arrow, say something. He literally gets to the point of breaking the table. Grab him! He physically grabs Rudius and nobody's stopping him? I'm done with counter arrow. Wait, one of them interrupts, right? No, nobody interrupts. His friend pulls him off. Conrad is literally better than any of counter arrow. Suzanne! What are you doing, Suzanne? She got a default Roblox grin. Like, no. I mean, her fist is balled up. Like, I know you just don't like that. But, like, hey, do something. At least Sarah jumps in and, tries to assist Rudy here a little bit afterwards. But, y'all are grown. Look at this depressed, sad child kid. Okay? Y'all, assist the child. He's suffering right now. And then the next scene, they're just gone. No moral support? Y'all. Dude, counter arrow stocks at the minimum. Y'all didn't help Rudius at all when he's getting laid into by this lad. Soul is literally ripping Rudius a new one. Live action TV film in front of you. And y'all are just like, Rudius chill like that. He take those. He does not take those on the chin. And y'all gotta have an insight that's literally 1/1000th of Soul, drunk, shit-faced Soul, to not realize that Rudy is crumpling right now, man. Soul is over here spitting facts. Okay. Counter arrow. Timothy, you're dead to me. Suzanne, you're dead to me. Sarah, you can barely pass. I don't mean that 100%. It's just this. They definitely dropped the ball here. Come on, guys. Y'all two-faced. I'm sick of y'all. Dude, villain arc begins. I'm sick of these y'all. I'm sick of these y'all. Okay, and y'all low-key abandoned Rudy earlier, okay, in this dungeon, where Rudy's like, dang, I'm alone. They just backed up. And he was like, wait, nobody's behind me? And it's just this little sad grin. Where are they? Why are y'all up on the hill? Suzanne, remember when like when you all with the grizzly bears and you were like, I'll hold the line and y'all get away? What, you want your mage to hold the line? Get up there with him. Like, what, you think he's so OP, you're not taking it seriously? Oh, he'll be fine? Is that what you're doing? You're deifying him like everyone else because he seems so OP? Guess what? Magical strength doesn't equate to emotional strength, dip. That's 101. He's literally praying to the Holy Relic because of how alone he feels. And then Sarah, literally the bowman, is the first one to do anything. No, where's my swordsman at? Timothy's up there. Hey, Suzanne? I mean, Timothy gets a pass because Timothy has to recite an entire novella to, like, cast a minor spell. Sarah gets a pass because she has to go on the back lines. Hey, Suzanne. Where are you at? Behind? I don't know where y'all took too long. Suzanne, it is what it is, I guess. I mean, I'm not going to hold you too much for the fight. Fights are chaotic and you maybe got distracted. But for Soul to tear into the guy... That's wild. For Soul to tear into him and nobody backs Rudy up, that's actually criminal. Poor Rudy. Actually, poor Rudy moment. That's brutal. I can't believe that. The more I've thought about it, the more it's upset me. Sarah gets evil deaded. Now they love each other. She's like, look at it. She literally says, that's no way to talk to him. Yeah, Suzanne, you're like pressing Rudy after he saves Sarah. Like, no, and I kind of get it, Sarah. I kind of get it, Suzanne, in that, like, she was stressed. She didn't want Rudy to just go die. Like, no, I kind of get that. I'm not going to get that mad on you. Sarah, good support, though. Good support. Surely Sarah emotionally defending Rudy isn't going to make Rudy attached to her and then cause a bunch of problems. We'll see. Turning point 3 called. Turning point 3. Hello. We're about to make your life worse, Rudy. Pick up the phone. Timothy, you're welcome. Next time, back me up when I'm getting attacked by someone in the bar. Next time when somebody physically grabs me in the bar, back me up, okay? It's not even about me being OP. It's about me being alone, okay? It's lonely on the top. It's lonely on the top. What? Rudy's the top of the mountain, so y'all, like, hills? Y'all hills don't have anything to say? That's crazy to me. These people are the worst. I'm gonna kill them. They're not the worst. They're just bad. But when I say the worst, let me be clear. Let me troll a little bit. I'm just trolling, man. Can I troll? Okay, let's get into the next episode. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of talking. Okay, next episode. Rudy, hey, you said you were about to have the nicest sleep of your life. Is that even true? How bottled up are you right now? And I ain't talking about sexually. Well, also sexually. You weren't perving to her last episode. But no, yeah, not really sexually, that was what I meant. Like, emotionally, bottled up. Hey, we gotta deal with some of those, okay? Like, bottling up and doing a bunch of positive things, on one hand, like, I'm glad that you're coping in a good way, in a lot of these ways, but that doesn't mean you've dealt with the thing, okay? We still gotta actually deal with the thing, right? With Eris, abandonment issues. Talk about it. Episode 3. Talk about it. Let's get it going. Talk about it. Okay, episode 3, let's get going. In a 3, a 2, a 1. Bang! I swear, if Rudy had to buy drinks, I'm gonna swing on y'all. Next time Soul starts swearing, like, getting into my face, y'all better back him up. You're just the rebound from Mimir, let's be real. Quagmire Rudius. That's crazy to me. They really going down this route, huh? Sarah route began. Hopefully it's healthy. Who cares though? Hey, Sarah, please be positive. Please be a positive influence. Hey, Sarah, I'm praying. Opening up about your backstory. Good. Why do you ask? What, are you jealous? Sarah, no, she's taking it on the chin. She's fine. No, yeah, she's fine. Oh, yeah? Got a bit of knife play or knife work. Whoa, Freudian slip. Whoa, that's crazy. I'm sorry. All right, hey, focus up, focus up. Oh, we're going on a date. We're gonna go buy a knife together. Such a sweet date idea. I know they're not calling it a date, but we know it is. Suzanne's pogging. Suzanne's pogging. Timothy's pogging. Timothy's pogging. A date. And look, you accepted it, and you had some riz, okay? Aww. Rebound. Hey, rebound relationships. Rebound. Healthy. I'm playing. Maybe she'll be good for him. Maybe she can fix him. I can fix him. Hey, Sarah, I can fix him. Shake my hand. Ooh, what is that? A little peach and a meringue? A meringue? Blacksmith. Oh, bro, I want to be a blacksmith in a fantasy world. That sounds fun. Hard work, actually. Holy. Knives. Oh, you gonna dual wield? A little bit of a shank on one, shank on two? Are you gonna have twin knives? That'd be cute. Hi, Sarah. Aw, y'all both bought a knife. Twinning. Adorable. Adorable. Breastplate. You're talking about like a leather breastplate, like for fighting? Caught. Oh, it's over. He started seeing her. You don't watch a girl drink a little bit of booze. Oh, that's so cute. That's actually so cute. Yes. Armor, yeah, arm around. You got it. You can do it, Rudius, I believe. Believer said. Yes. Thinking about your ex while getting with the new girl is healthy? What? Ah. He's panicking. No, maybe a smart move. We'll see. I don't know. Brudius. Right, Paul? No, she thinks she's gonna make the move. Another tavern. You want a bar hop? That's bar hop. She feeling it, Rudy. She feeling it. She knows exactly what that means, bro. He's struggling. Wait, this is actually good. Internal thoughts. Internal Rudius thoughts, my beloved. Ever since they said that she had a personality like Eris, we already knew it was over, bro. Whoa. She took a layer off. Didn't know it was so hot in here. What the heck? Damn! Rudy, are you comfy with this? How do you feel about this, Rudy? Your shadow. Your hair strand is so funny. Repay the debt kind of type behavior. Go ahead? What does that mean? What a crazy way to say it. Oh, yeah, there we go. We're getting a lot more visuals this time. Bro, are you even in the moment? What is going on with this kid? Nothing! Dysfunction! Wow. Wow. Oh, not the dysfunction, bro. No. Dang. It's almost... Your body knows how messed up you are, bro. Your body knows how messed up you are, bro. Because it knows. Damn. Ouch. She took it personally. Now she's trying to, like, save her... She's trying to save face right now. She's saving face. That's really bad. Ouch. It's not his fault that he couldn't get it up, bro. Alright, counter arrow, you're out. Send me back to dead end, man. Look at Rudius booty right there. Who's drinking? You're drinking? Oh, no. He's... Oh, no. Okay, let's just make it worse. Yeah, let's just make it worse real quick. Why not? What is happening? Fine. This is what happens when counter arrow doesn't push him off and doesn't care at all. Deserved, finally. It's a shame because Rudy's losing it, so like this is like... Dang! He's just taking those. Wait, Soul. Is Soul the realest one right now? Small chance Soul is the real one. Because he just wanted you to be real, right? Like, what's going through your head, bro? Real one. Hey, this guy was cool. I liked this guy. Thanks, Soul. I appreciate that, Soul. Okay. Thank you! Yes, yes, Soul! Soul is the realest one. Soul is better than all of Counter Arrow. It's real. Thank you. Real, yeah, let someone to be real with. Let's go, Soul! No, he's being real with you. This is homies talking to homies, bro. He just wants someone to be real with him. Dude, this guy's the realest guy I've ever met, Soul. Thank you. Because he was right. Someone to talk to. Someone to be real with. Yeah. Hey, I'm just a guy. This is the geese. This is the geese I was talking about. Don't hide behind your fancy words. Real. Tell it to me straight. Oh my goodness, this is I'm literally Soul, and Soul is literally me. He's the best character in the show. S tier. Yes, Soul. Thank you, Soul. Thank you. Oh my goodness. I love Soul. Yes! Let's deal with our issues. Because she's stupid and she doesn't know how to talk. And communication diff. It's okay. No, Soul, be careful. No, Rudy. Yes, Soul, fix him up a piece. Soul is the boy. Okay, Soul, I don't know about that one, but I appreciate that you're a listening ear. He's gonna pick up chicks for you, bro. Oh, we're going to the brothel? Oh, Rudy, no, wait. Rudy, wait. I don't know if this is gonna help you, bro. I mean, actually, F it, we ball. Become Paul 3.0. I don't care. This Soul is Paul 2.0. Become Paul 3.0. At this point, F it, we ball. It's what their job is, bro. They paid to, they're fine with it. Unless they're like trafficked or something, but I'm gonna just assume that these people are consenting transactionary people, and then I will take those. Dang, this is a nice crib. Elise, baby girl, hey, how you doing? Quagmire, Quagmire. I'm gonna lose it. I can't believe this is the best anyone's ever done for Rudy. Is immediately just take him to a brothel. That's the most anyone's ever done for this guy in this town. This town is so insane. Aww. Oh, we saw that. We saw that. Yeah. Yeah, she had the same color hair. It's true. I hope she's good at her job and makes him actually like is actually a positive experience for him here. I've had this reminds me of a book I've read actually that was really, really powerful. I'll probably keep that to myself though. May we get started now? What a guy. Oh, she's sensual with it. Oh, we get sensual with it. This is so... Dude. That was the strongest fade to black I've ever seen in my entire life. None of them worked, bro. Man's down for the count. And I ain't talking about Rudy. I'm talking about little Rudy. Dude. They're talking about it like trying to heal his like pet dog. I did all I could. Bro. They're really sitting down and saying, Rudius, you're scared of women. I was about to say Roxy. The Roxy ending. Rudy, the Roxy ending. Rudy, the Roxy ending. Yes. That's the blanket, bro. Soul is the realest man alive. I'm fine with this. Someone to be real with. I don't know about these things he's advocating for. That's a little worrying, but like, we take those. We take those. Just a homie to talk with. A homie to break it through with. Thank you, Soul. I am gonna lose my mind. Say Quagmire. Hardest line in the show. Say Quagmire. Labyrinth, Zenith reference. Real advice? I've been saying. Zenith reference, Zenith reference. Real good analogy. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I am waiting for from this show, bro. Thank you, the show. Thank you, show. I feel like we're actually doing stuff now. Yes. I'm here for it. The soul diff, the soul diff. Okay, he's saying he clicked the bus. Dude, this guy is the most enlightened man alive. What? She was lying because she was saving face, bro. He knows. This guy. Thank you, this guy. Thank you, Soul. Thank you, Soul. Your name is getting... Oh, your name I have written down. Thank you for writing it down, me. Oh my goodness. I'm finally enlightening. The show is... Everything's clicking into place, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Dare you what? You dare you what? Who are you looking at? You're looking at me, the audience member. Hey, Soul, what's good with you, man? I'll return the stare. Copium. Wait, actually, wait. Growth. That's her! Shut up! That's her full name, Soldat? She's right there, bro. Soul, say something! Say something. No, he's burning it down. Cup it. Cup the mouth. It's over. You hurt her feelings so bad. This is so bad, actually. He's drunk out of his mind. No. She's gonna slap you, bro. Honestly, Sarah, you're the one that like started saying also like you kind of pushed you got the ball rolling. And Suzanne, you didn't back me up when Soul was up in my business. Don't you dare look at me. Wait, from who? From Rudius? He's crushed. No way! Soul! Literally, this is the best character in the entire show. This guy's the best character in the entire show. Soul, no, you have to stick with him, bro. He just tried to shank himself, did he not? Oh, go home. No, okay, fair. I thought you meant tavern. I love Soul, bro. Soul stock's literally skyrocketing. Sarah, Suzanne, get out of here. Yes! Yes. Join the Soul gang. I'm gonna pog. I'm pogging. This is the best character. Oh my goodness. It's all coming together. It's all coming together. No, bro. Y'all homies. He just wanted you to be real. Yeah, that was cringe, Rudius. This guy telling you how it is. He a homie. Now he's your homie, bro. Look at this communication, bro. This is what we're here for. Soldat's the best guy in the show. I mean, he was a dick, to be sure. He was being a dick, but he's got so much heart. That's my boy right there. His insight skill is out of the world, and now I'm here for it. Thank you, Soul. Thank you, Soul. Bro, Counter Arrow, get out of here. I can't believe it took me that long to see they were two-faced. They're not even that bad. Like, I get why they're mad at Rudius, but like, dude, come on. He's literally drunk out of his mind because you left and said you had an obligation to it for his erectile dysfunction, bro. Abrupt approach. Thank you. That's the best episode. F it. This is the best episode of the show. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm fine, finally, bro. That's what I'm cooking with. That's what I'm cooking with. Don't give me none of this, like, sappy, bro. Soul is my boy. Soul dot, whatever your name. You're my boy to the ends of the earth, brother. Thank you. Thank you, Soul. Wow, I feel enlightened right now. Where's Soul's voice actor, bro? I gotta talk to him. I'm gonna email him. I'm gonna email Soul's voice actor and say thank you very much. Real one behavior, you right now, you voicing Soul. Holy crap, this guy, dude. Like yes, ramifications, yes, sex. Thank you. I'm here for it. Still not sure about all the degeneracy stuff. Like, let me be clear. I don't know if how much the degeneracy stuff is still kind of unsure. This is a good step forward though. This is a good step forward for the show. This is good. I liked that. Cause it's not even dude, for me, I can even accept if the execution isn't great, which I like the execution here. Like, I'm not saying that, but just the attempt. I can appreciate the attempt so much, and they were actually like, let's figure this out, bro. Let's have some thematic talk with it, bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you. This is the payoff. Oh, who? You mean Quagmire? Let's go! Oh, this is that one girl. Rudius, please say Rudius. Quagmire, Rudius! Huge. Look at her finally actually being useful instead of just having sex with people. She's about to have sex with these guys. She wants a piece of the Rudius pie. Bro, do not do that. She's grabbing his cronker. They're gonna start making stuff up. It's like, this is why... Is that even true, Pippin? But letter of invitation, I read it. I don't even care. Dude, finally Soul, the most based human, finally makes his appearance. I've been waiting for just something, man. And it's Soul, and he's like, you know what? That's brutal. Hey, bro. Let's talk about it. Let's deal with it. You might have screwed up. Hey, F it, we ball. Let's try to heal this. Maybe healing this with a brothel would work, and then it doesn't work. Like, I can keep clapping. I can keep going. Thank you, finally, bro. Like, actually using this as a thing, bro. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I've been saying. Freaking Eris. I'm sick of Eris. Dude, I'm with Rudy. F Eris. F Counter Arrow. F Sarah. Y'all are done. Get out of here. Soul, Ruby Jerd, Paul, Roxy, Sylphie/Fitz. New squad just dropped. I'm sick of it. Eris, if you come back in your pog, I'm here for you, okay? You can come back. But, like, we don't need you. We don't need it. Who need it? Don't need it. Because it's like, bro, it's like, it is still kind of played for comedy, but I'm kind of fine with it, because at least it's like saying something about, it's like telling us stuff about Rudy the character, instead of just doing it for literally a joke, right? Thank you. I don't even have anything to say, bro. I just have praise. I'm just thankful. I just have gratitude. Can't get it up. It's funny how we actually see so much more of the like the like let me get freaky with her, and then the erectile dysfunction hits. But it's like the framing of it is very different than, well, how different is it from the Eris one? It's pretty different, because the Eris one we saw a lot less, I would say, where we saw like a kiss, which we saw here, but we didn't actually see like a substantial amount of like nude body or anything like here. Like, this is a substantial amount of nude body, I would argue. My body was telling me something was wrong. Something is wrong. Hey, your body knows, bro. Listen to them physiological impulses, bro. Hey, you hungry right now? I'll feed you later, dog. Ignored. Left you on red. The shadow here doing so much work. I feel enlightened, bro. Soul is all I'm looking for in this world. Dude, the way he was just eating those and not fighting back, I was like, wait a second. Is Soul a real one? Is Soul letting himself be a punching bag because he's actually... Because, dude, it makes sense. Like, I was saying this last time. Soul doesn't like the fakeness. He didn't like Timothy being all fake. And Rudy was doing that 10 times more. He didn't like the fakeness. I think I said that. That's definitely true. And so it's like, oh, Rudy's finally being real? Why would Soul be mad at that? He takes those on the chin. Yeah, this was so in character for Soul. Soul's the realest man alive. He's that 7 times in the chin, says, dang, this kid kinda sad. You know what? Let's talk to him a bit. Only guy to actually be real with him. I was literally saying Rudy has no one to be real with the entire time, bro. I was saying that the entire opening. I was literally pugging my pants off saying, no one, no one, no one. He should go home to Paul. He should go home to Roxy. He should do something. He needs to find somebody to talk to because nobody to talk to. He needs to find someone he's vulnerable with. And then, who shows up? It's Soul, my beloved. Soul Dotsathan? I don't even remember your name. Solidarian? Soldot? Soldarius. Soldarius. That's your new name. Soldarius. Elise, I actually appreciate you. Like that, bro. I'm not gonna what was that book called? Frank, I don't remember what that book was called. It was the story of someone that was like virgin 30 something. It was a woman, and then she was a lesbian, and she went to a place like a love hotel or something, and like had an experience there, and then like a thing. And that to me was like it was a very powerful book, or it wasn't even a book, it was like a visual novel. Like lesbian first experience with love or something. But yeah, it reminds me kind of that. Just, I actually, like a really, how do I say this without losing it? I'm gonna lose it. This was a good episode, man. Thank you. Thank you. I'm still worried about a lot of the things. The crazy thing, and this is crazy, the gap between season 1 and season 2 means a lot of people watched season 1, sat with that for a long time. That's still something that's kind of crazy to me. Just to be clear. But yeah, I kind of am here for like a escort service that, like, in this kind of way where she's just like super nice to him, you know. Like one where it's like somebody can like have a chance to explore something comfortably with somebody that is experienced and knows how to make it a comfortable environment. I'm here for that. I think that can be really positive. And it was like, dude, it was literally them working together and being like, I got her to try all sorts of things, none of them worked, and she's like, yeah, man, he's scared of women. But it's like there's no judgment there because we were able. This was an environment that we could actually explore this thing. Oh my goodness, bro, I'm going to lose my mind. This, dude, it taking place at a brothel? Fine, good, let's do it, bro. Pog. Soul takes the lad to a brothel, and we explore some of his sexual problems in a safe, comfortable environment for all participants. Not children, not molesting children, not spying on people, not voyeurism, okay? Not spying on children bathing. Not this, like, post-grief stuff with Eris. A comfortable and safe environment. With consenting people. Consenting adults. Pog. And I know where he says, like, an adult for this world. I'm just taking that. Because he has the mental thing there, too, right? We don't even need to get into age of consent stuff, because Elisa, whatever, she's definitely an adult. Like, by modern standards. So we don't even have to have that conversation. It seemed to me that Rudy's was, well, frightened of women. That is so funny to hear. That is so good to hear. Thank you! Because this is true. I would say he's scared of intimacy with a woman. Like, you could be more specific. He's not scared. He's got 3 women surrounding him. He's not like he has a fear response there. But, like, yeah. Somebody feels he would never turn on him. Dude, it's a vulnerability. He got hoed for his... I'm enlightened. Dude. He got hoed for his vulnerability. He got hoed for his vulnerability. Let me just say it. He got hoed for his vulnerability. Okay? And he was like, okay, let's find somebody that you can be vulnerable with. Who comes to mind? Roxy? Phone the phone with Roxy? You know what I'm saying? Thank you! Dude, I'm like 10 seconds away from just... Do you see my green screen like fumbling right now because my shadow's effing it up? We don't need it anymore. We did it, guys. We made it. Okay. Let me we need to take a second. Sorry, that was just, it's like the harder the fall, dude, like, you know, the greater the pride, the harder the fall. Like, the bigger the monster, the greater the glory. You know that? The deeper my despair, the greater the triumph. And I was despairing. And so now I am getting to triumph, okay? I'm having a physiological endorphin spike right now. I'm literally, the hormones and chemistry in my brain is going, max out your pleasure receptors. Like, it's freaking out in there. And thank you, Saul. And it's Saul to put for that. Bro, I need a Saul in my life, bro. I've had a couple Sauls. This is, like, relatable for me personally, man. Just a homie to talk to. I've had a couple homies to talk to throughout my time, and it's always such a powerful experience. I love my homies. Don't tell them I said that. But, like, I muted it. That is such a thing that can be so good. Just someone that you can talk to and be real with. That is so powerful. And for Soul to do that out of nowhere, well, it wasn't even out of nowhere. I totally get why it happened. I was here for it, you know? Feel like it was good. That was good. That was good stuff there. Like, hey, drink up, bro. Let's get you out of your own head a little bit. But he stays with him. Literally, Rudy goes, I'm going to stab myself in the throat. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this thrust. Look at that. And guess what? We have, like, a designated driver. Soul is my favorite character in the show. And I know this is, like, pretty serious, because it is a Rudy suicide attempt, if we're going to be real, right? But Soul being the guy, because it's like, we have to work, we gotta work through this shit, okay? We gotta unbottle this trauma. Let's talk about it. Soul, you're my designated driver as I delve into my own being, as I delve into my own pits of hell. We gotta unbottle that hoe. Look how miserable this child is. No, you do care. Shut up. You're coming with me. No, you're not regressing. I'm gonna grab you by the nape of your neck, and we are not regressing anymore. Rudy is Grey Rat. This is my favorite episode of the show. Literally, literally, you have no idea. The amount of, like, positive endorphins in my brain is losing it. I'm getting full body chills. I'm getting full body chills because of the influence. I'm feeling nauseous. Dude, remember when I said with, I said, and I think, quote, I feel like I'm gonna vomit, end quote, with Eris. I was like, I feel physically nauseous because I feel physically nauseous but positive. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction, bro. This is the opposite and equal reaction to all my despair. This is an opposite and equal reaction, bro. Finally, bro. Thank you. And this doesn't fully deal with everything, right? But this is a step. This is a really good, this is a man's first step for Mars. This is, one small step for man, one large step for mankind. This is one small step for Rudius, one large step for my faith in the show. That's what I'm saying. Dude, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. That's so crazy. Let me just soak in it. Let me just enjoy this. Can I just enjoy this? Wow. What an experience. That was so powerful for me. You have no idea. This is the reason I'm doing this, bro. This is the reason I consume media. Just so I can have, like, insane, like, actually mind-ravaging amounts. Okay, whoa. Okay, let's not get too Rudius Grey Rat up in this hoe. Let's calm down. I'm just here for it. I think the payoff hits so hard for me because of how much I've been thinking about this stupid show and its stupid sexual themes, bro. So just to see any payoff like this hits like a freaking cement truck for me. Because it's like, I've been longing for this behavior for too long, you know? And I've been despairing. I still think there's some problematic elements, blah, blah, blah. But this, at least, is like, okay, I can work with this, bro. I can work with this. We're moving in a direction I can work with. We at least did something I can work with, bro. And I'm here for that. Even if I'm not here for a lot of the other things, I'm here for that. We keep our mind on the positive, okay? We keep our mind on the positive. Literally, for me, the best episode of this show. Can I say that? It's gotten the strongest reaction out of me, like, in terms of my emotional state. It's gotten the strongest reaction out of me, so I'd say that's a win. I'd say that's a huge W for the show. Dude, episode 3. Shout out episode 3. Holy crap. We've been building up to this hoe for a minute. We've been building up to this hoe for a mile, bro. A minute, a mile, an hour a day. It's my motto. Things to say, bro. I don't have anything else to say. Rudy, A designated driver stops the suicide attempt. Real one. Man's drunk out of his mind. I mean, dangers of alcohol. I mean, that's the crazy thing. That's like the dangers of like going into this realm of like drinking your sorrows away. Yeah, that's really dangerous. That's why I'm so glad that he was there to designate driver him the entire time. Like, I'm here for that. The homie part, the emphasis on the homie is what really ties it together for me. Someone he feels certain would never turn on him, Roxy. The Roxy ending is real. Listen to me. The Roxy ending is the canon ending. I take no questions. I wrote the show. Roxy ending for the win. We go send it. Send it. Hey, who is the ending? Roxy ending, final answer. That's what I'm looking for, man. For a moment, I thought of Roxy, but that probably wouldn't work. We can make it work. She can fix him. Oh my goodness. I fear that such relationships can't be rushed. Exactly. That's why, dude, I can't believe you, Eris. Eris. But this is why you don't mess with somebody that's got a freaking messed up emotional state, where it's like, it's just crazy. Eris, I'm done with you. Sarah, I'm done with you. What did you say? I don't even want a woman like her. She's built like a kid. A woman gotta be stacked. Soldat. Let me get your full name, Soldat. Soldat, real one, bro. Dude, do you see the shock in his eyes? He's like, oh shit. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. You fumbled here by not shutting him up sooner, but we accept that because you stopped the suicide attempt less than 20 seconds later. Win. Bad RNG, by the way, for her to walk up. Quagmire. Quiet. That wasn't even that bad, bro. It was literally... Well, him saying he's not attracted to her body is definitely going to make her self-conscious, because that's the reason she was trying to save face, because she thought she probably felt super unattractive, so I feel her for that. It's just... Like, performance anxiety, bro. He, like, you just tear it into the guy. What does she say? Since when? How long have I been like this? When's the last time I popped a rager, bro? That's what he's thinking right now. That's what I've been saying. He not being pervy a red flag. I've been saying. So he's literally, dude, you can tell the guy feels so bad. Sarah, read the room. It's not like I'm really into you or anything. Huh? Just wanted to thank you to pay my debt. I guess she wasn't that... I mean, this is pretty hurtful. She's just trying to save face. Like, I totally get it. But then Rudy's just drunk out of his mind and he feels bad. Like, for you to slap him... I guess he deserved the slap. Like, I'm fine with you slapping him. I don't know. It's just an unfortunate situation. That's pretty hurtful. Yeah, that's pretty hurtful from him. From her to him. And then for him to be saying all that, like, that's just validating all her fears. Or, like, all her insecurities there. Y'all, but guess what? I was already, like, on the outs with Counter Arrow as soon as I realized that they did not step up for you an iota when Soul was onto you that last time. So guess what? Suzanne, you're gone. Sarah, never let me see you again, you scumbag. It just sucks. Like, I feel for her. Like, I'm not that mad at Sarah. Sarah's very emotionally hurt. She's young, They had an honest connection. It was sweet. And then it didn't go the way she wanted. She felt like she needed to save face. That caused a doom spiral in the relationship. Fair. Suzanne, that was way out of line. You know what was pretty out of line from you, Suzanne? Soul is physically grabbing me by the collar, right? He's just flipped our table. He's grabbing me by the collar. And you don't do anything. What, you're scared of him? You're not going to back him up because you think Soul could take you in a fight? What? You're just going to abandon Quagmire? I just used Quagmire unironically because of how mad I am at you, Suzanne. That was way out of line. That was out of line. That was a fumble. That was a fumble. Don't even pretend you were on my side. I'm going evil arc. Soul's the realest one being like, ugh, we gotta fix this. Rudy's taking, dude, it's like there's such a funny, it's like, it's kind of weird that they're like gagifying it a little bit because Soul is just so much. Dude, I figured it out. Me unimmersing from the show, put me in the perfect position to immerse into Soul. Because Soul is unimmersed. Soul is is only surface levelly immersed into Rudy, right? Rudy has all his issues. It's all intense. We've been there. He has all the trauma. And then as the audience, we followed him there. But then I got tired of it, so I unimmerse. Guess who shows up and like talks to Rudy the way I would talk to Rudy because I'm like, F it, you know? Soul. I literally primed myself unintentionally for Soul to resonate, bro. Hold your horses, dumbass. That's literally what I would say to this lad. I need a thirsty horse, dumbass. Like, dude, he's literally, this is what I would like say to him, bro. This is what I would say to Rudius whenever he freaks out with Eris. I'm literally Soul, bro. I say, Rudy, go after Eris and talk and explain yourself. It's that easy. That's what dude, Soul, I need to never lose this character. He's the only thing keeping me sane. Soul is the goodest character in the show. I thank you. Oh. I was primed for him. He was my saving grace. He's my boy. The ultimate homie. The one who, like, just kind of takes it without being super emotionally invested in it, which is what I was striving to do. He is me and I am him. He is all that is right in the world. Paul and Soul are the S. Frick it. Eris Rubiger drops a tier. Paul goes up a tier. Soul jumps to the top of S. Live. We do it live now. My poor roommates. It's like 2 a.m. It's like 2 a.m. Oh my god. These poor thin walls. They're like, what is this guy cooking, bro? What is this guy? Oh my goodness. I love it. And he literally says the advice I was saying, let's go get you with Paul. He doesn't even know Paul, and he says the same advice. Wanna come with us then? This is this is my favorite human I've ever met. He's just real. I've been looking for real. Hey, real recognize real. Real recognize real. Smoking that Sarah pack. Real recognize real. Smoking that Eris pack. I'm done. All the Gen Z Zoomer lingo's coming out at this point. All the Gen Z Zoomer lingo, okay? No cap on a stack. L. Liddy. It's Rizzy. It's all about the heart, bro. Took this long for a real one to step up. Hey. Can the real Soul stand up? I'm done. Let it play. I'm finished. It's just been like, I've been waiting for him my entire life. I've been waiting for him. There's nothing more that I need to say. Okay? No more reactor. No more anything. We're done here. You hear me? We're done with it. We're done. No more. End it. End the episode. I'll sit down for the ending. We're finished. I'm done. This was my favorite episode because Soul is literally like just the pinnacle of everything that I've felt for like so long. He is just the approach that I've been like screaming in my own mind for. Just finally, salvation at last. It peaked. I don't know if this show's ever gonna get as good as it was this episode. This episode was so peak for me, bro. just it's like specifically my experience with the episode. Like I'm not in any state to like actually objectively rate the episode because of just how like how immersed I was in the specific way that Soul was able to hit me, bro. It's crazy. That's all I got for this episode. I'm finished of episode 3. Mushoku Tensei. On to the next episode 4. Should be exciting. Subscribe, like the video, hit me, beat me up, hit me with all of your notifications, all your comments. I'm fine with it. Do it, bro. I'm ready. I need to see in the comments only praising of Soul. If anyone says Soul is a bad person, I'm banning you forever. It's over. It's over. What a time. What a beautiful time. That's all I got for this episode. On to the next. Should be exciting. Episode 4. I will be seeing you then. Peace.